Okay, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how we can set up the exhibitors on the Oxford Abstracts program as an event administrator. So to find the exhibitor section, all we have to do is go down to the conference section, and then we'll see exhibitors here. So what we will see here is a list of our existing exhibitors. So if you're just starting out, this table is going to be blank. But what we can do is very easily add exhibitors to our list. So we just hit the Add Exhibitor button here. And so to add an exhibitor, all we need to do is add an exhibitor name. So this would typically be the company which is exhibiting, and then the exhibitor email address. So this is the email address the exhibitor will use to sign in to Oxford Abstracts. And then we just hit Add, and then they will appear on our table. So once we've added our exhibitors, we want to invite them to interact with the exhibitor settings. So to do this, we can copy the exhibitor link here, and then we can send this to any one of our exhibitors. And this link will automatically work out which exhibit this person is a part of. So when they follow this link, people are going to see something similar to this. So as I have access to multiple exhibits, I can choose between them, but typically if they only have one, they'll be taken straight to the page where they can edit their exhibit booth. So from here we can see they can change all the details of the booth. I'm not going to go into details on this here because this is going to be covered in a separate video. So going back to our exhibitors table, next up we can see how we can change the exhibitor settings. So if I go to the Edit Settings button on the top, we can see that we have some controls about how the exhibitor feature is used. So we can set access controls for the exhibitors. So this first checkbox says exhibitors can use the event chat feature, includes all features you have enabled in networking. So this essentially means that the exhibitors can act as though they are a delegate and then use all those networking features that you've enabled. So they'll be able to chat to delegates and so on. So we can disable this if we want to restrict the amount of access they have to the delegates. The second checkbox says hide attendees' emails and social links from exhibitors until they have engaged with the exhibitor. So again, we can uncheck this if we can keep this checked if we want to hide those details until someone has engaged with the exhibitors. And then we can change these settings and press save. So next up, we can have a look at the exhibitor table itself. So first thing we can see is that we can select exhibitors and we can delete them. Next, we can change the order of the exhibitors. So this will have an effect on how they appear on the exhibitors page, which I'll show you in 1 second. So we can move them up and down. We can see the name, the exhibitor email, and from here we can change how much space the exhibitor is given on the exhibitors page. So they can either be in a grid or they can have a half screen. So here's an example of an exhibitor page. So we can see the exhibitors we have on the top of the list of our table, those ones appear first. And then if we give them the half page setting, they take up half the page, and if they're in a grid, they take up a third. So we can change this here as the admins. Next, we can see if the exhibitor has published their page. And then As an admin, we can hide any of these booths at any time if we choose to. Then the last option is to edit the booth. So we can click into this, and then we can edit the booth as though we are an exhibitor. So it brings us back to this page. Again, there'll be another video on how we can actually set up these exhibitor booths as if we were an exhibitor. Okay, so now that we've set up our exhibitors, there's also one other thing we can do, and that is we can use the exhibitors as if they are sponsors. So I'll show you what I mean by this. If I go to the program builder, we can see our regular program builder view. One of the options we have in the program builder is to have sponsors, and then we can assign those sponsors to different sessions. So if I go into our sponsor list here, we can see some pre-existing sponsors that we have. And we can also see that we can add a sponsor who is also an exhibitor. So if I create a new one, we'll be able to see how this works. So if we choose Wizz Air as our new sponsor, I can then choose to link this with my existing exhibitor called Wizz Air. And then I can put in their website here. So we can see we have an existing sponsor called EasyJet. If I then go to my professional conference, and then I go to the schedule, and then I click on a session which has EasyJet as a sponsor, I can then see the sponsor here, and then this gives me the option to be taken straight to the EasyJet exhibitor booth. Okay, so this summarizes the exhibitor booth tools in regards to being an administrator and then how you can set up those exhibitors. As I mentioned before, we'll do a separate video from the point of view of the exhibitors and how they themselves can edit those booths. Okay, thank you for watching.